Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So today I'm gonna show you all the books that I have read in October. So it's my monthly wrap up. It's pretty how it works. This month was very interesting and a little bit different than my usual month because I really like to read books that are fitting to the season and that are right now really trendy. I would love to read the X-Hacks and stuff like that, just books that fit the vibe of the season and right now. But I wasn't home and I didn't have all my books and I couldn't order any books, so I just had my Kindle, which I was so grateful for, because if I wouldn't have had my Kindle I would have just been able to bring 4 books and I would have died. So I'm very grateful that I had my Kindle, and yeah, we became best friends. And so yeah, I used a lot of Kindle Unlimited books, which is fine. And yeah, so this is gonna be a little bit like a Kindle Unlimited recommendations because I read so fucking many, but it's okay. So I started this month with reading the Dirty Air series, which was one of my goals when I was away. I wanted to read the Dirty Air series and the Twisted series. I read 2 of the 8 books, which is fine. It's okay. I read other books, so it's okay. But yeah, so I started the month with reading Throttled, and that was the first book. And basically the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher is about the Formula 1. It's about 4 racers that are just in different teams and competing against each other, and then all of them fall in love with a girl. And the first one I really like because I like the characters. To be honest, I don't really remember a lot about the man from the book, Noah. So I don't know. But I liked Maya, the girl. She was very interesting, and she started this vlog channel, and that was really interesting as well. And yeah, just getting into the whole Formula 1 world was really cool, and I like that. But I'm still not quite sure if I like the writing style of Lauren Asher. Right now I have finished all her books and I do like them. I don't know. But it was a good book. I gave it 4 stars. And then I read Collided, and it was basically the same book. It was again like a frumpy person who falls in love with this sunshiny, innocent person. And yeah, I really did not like that as much as the first one, just because it was just too similar, so I didn't like that. And yeah, basically Collided is about Liam and Sophie. Liam is again from the Formula 1, and Sophie is the daughter of another team. So it was a little bit also forbidden love, because obviously different teams and stuff. But yeah, it was just again grumpy and sunshine, and Sophie was also really innocent, and she had this fuck it list where she had all these naughty things that she wanted to do before the season was over or something, because she didn't do all these things before, and she just wanted to get kind of out of her comfort zone. And then when Liam and her became friends, if you could call them that, I don't know. I think the book is branded a little bit like a Friends to Lovers, but it really wasn't. Sorry. After I read Collided, I gave it 2 stars, and I was just done with the Dirty Air series for a while. Reading the next book, no, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get into a reading slump, even though I really wanted to read the whole series in one. But it's okay, if you don't want to read it, you don't have to. So I didn't read it, and I just stopped for a while, and now in November I continue reading it, and it's fine. But yeah, so then I read Full Tilt and All In because I wanted a book that's a little bit sad, because I was a bit sad, so I just thought, it fitted. And it was Basically, it's about a music star who is famous, and she is not doing so well. I think she's an alcoholic, and she is really sad and depressed and just wants to numb her feelings with alcohol, and she's just partying, and she doesn't have any control of anything. And then she gets like kind of picked up and rescued by this taxi driver, who then drives her to his home because he doesn't know where she belongs and where he should bring her. And yeah, they kind of fall in love. The taxi driver, the main character, which I think his name is Jonah, and the girl, I don't remember the name, whoopsie, but he is sick and he doesn't have a lot longer to live, and that's just like the main problem of the relationship kind of, and that makes it like really sad because they obviously fall in love, and then there's a struggle with him being very sick. And what I liked about the book was that it was set in Las Vegas, which was so different. Like, I have not read a single book that was set there, and that was really amazing. And I really liked the characters, and it was really nice. And yeah, I really liked the book, and I gave it 4 stars. I didn't cry though, which was a bit disappointing. And then I read the second one, All In, like I said, the duology. I can't really say a lot about it because it would spoil literally everything about the first one. So I'm just gonna say I gave it also 4 stars. And yeah, that's all I can say about it. Then I read the Cruel Prince trilogy, or the Fog of the Air series, which was really good. I don't know if it's on Kindle Unlimited anymore, because when I first downloaded the first one, it was all, I think, on Kindle Unlimited, at least in Germany. And then I only had the first one and the second one, and then the third one wasn't on Kindle Unlimited anymore, and I had to buy it for like €5, which is fine. It's okay. I did it. But yeah, these 3 books I definitely want to buy like a physical copy of it, because it was just really nice to read. I really craved like a fantasy book, and this trilogy had been on my TBR for a very long time, so I'm very glad I read it finally. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very confusing, and I wouldn't go into it thinking, I'm gonna read like a romance fantasy novel right now, because the romance was so tiny, like tiny. It was basically not there. But when the romance happened, it was really freaking good. I feel like the small little crumbs we got were amazing. I just wish we would have got more, but it's okay. But it was like, I feel like the only thing that was really annoying was that it was so confusing. Like, I was reading the 3rd novel and I was still confused about the world and what was happening. So yeah, I don't know if that was just because I don't really know a lot about fantasy, because I'm quite new to the genre, or because of the book, but I was very confused. But basically, I feel like everybody has heard about the Fog of the Air series. Basically, it's about June, who gets kidnapped by like this fae when she was younger, because her other sister is the daughter of this fae, because her mom then ran away when she was pregnant, and her mom is actually like a normal human being, and she lived in the human world. And then when the fae came to get his daughter back, he killed the parents of June and took June, her twin sister, which I don't remember the name again, with them. So basically June just grew up in the fae world, and yeah, she was just kind of always bullied for being human and not a fae, because she's obviously a lot weaker than the Fae, and she is a really, like, Carden, the prince, was really her enemy. Like, he not really bullied her. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a bully romance or anything like that, obviously, but like, it's enemies to lovers, so they were fighting, and he was quite mean. Like, he was really cruel to her, which is in the name. But yeah, I can't really say it again what the whole thing is about without spoiling it, but I really liked it. I would say the whole series on and on is a 4-star series, and I liked being in this world again. But the first one I gave 4 stars, and then the second and third one I gave 3.5 stars, because I was just so fucking confused. And I wish we would have gotten more romance. And it was really political, which I didn't know, but I think you should. When you want to read it, you should go into it thinking like it's like a fantasy novel with politics, because she, through the books, gets a lot more power in politics, and with a tiny plot of romance. And then I read something completely different, and that was the Mindfuck series, which was so fucking good. I really liked it. I didn't think I would. I was honestly really skeptical about reading it because I don't know, I haven't read a lot of, like, I think it's like a dark romance or something, so I don't know. And I hate the covers, but it's not as dark as the covers might lead you to think, because it's about a girl and she's a serial killer, and then she falls in love with the FBI agent who wants to figure out who is the serial killer. And yeah, when you read it, you figure out why she is killing all these men so brutally. Like, oh my goodness, it was so brutal, crazy. But yeah, I was still able to read it. Like, it wasn't too graphic to not be able to read it. And yeah, and also, like, there's just a lot of romance, which was really nice, and I like that. So yeah, and it was like so quick to read. Like, I feel like if you're in a reading slump, I would really fucking recommend this series, because it just gets you out of the reading slump so fucking fast, because it's so easy and good to read. Like, it's just the best. And because all the books are just like 100 pages or something, so it's really freaking easy, and the language is easy to read, so I would really recommend that. Then I read Bunny, which I was really excited about when I saw that it's on Kindle Unlimited, because I just didn't think it would be on Kindle Unlimited. And maybe it's just in Germany on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not sure. But for me, it was on Kindle Unlimited, and I actually DNF'd the book at 50%, which I feel like I still got a lot into the book, and I just hated every single second of it. And what I've heard from other people who have read the whole thing, it wasn't really worth it, and they didn't even like it. So I was like, you know, why push through? I don't like this. I hate reading it. So I just stopped. And it's actually the first book that I DNF'd ever. So I feel like that says a lot, because I hate DNFing books. But this one was just not it for me, to be honest. And yeah, no. Moving on. The next book that I read was Something Weather by Christina Lauren. I bought that quite a while ago because it was obviously just from Christina Lauren, and I really like her books. And that was also very summery, and I wanted to read it in the summer, but then I just didn't get around to read it. And then I was in South Africa, and you know, I didn't obviously have the book with me, but it was very cheap on Kindle, so I just bought it. Now I have the physical copy and the Kindle book, but that's okay, because I really enjoyed the book, and I think if I would have just read it on Kindle, I would have wanted a physical copy as well. So I'm happy that I have it, and yeah, I just really like the book. Basically, it is a summer romance again. It's a second chance romance between a girl who works on a ranch and does like these tourist attraction thingies, And then there's this guy who comes along with his friends who do a yearly trip, and they have this plan to go to Utah and do this tourist trip with her, and he doesn't know that the tourist trip is with his ex, the girl who's working there. So it's a second chance romance, and it's also a little bit funny because her dad supposedly found this big treasure of gold in Utah, and then he hid it again, and now they're all just trying to figure out what's happening and where it is and where it could be. And it's very fun to read, and I really like the treasure hunt part of the book. And there were also some big plot twists, or not big, but like, you know, it was a very fun romance. If you want to look for something like a little bit different but still like a funny rom-com, I would definitely recommend this book to you, and it was really funny and I really liked it. Then I read The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, which I bought at the airport in South Africa when I was flying home. So yeah, and I read it on the plane, which was very fun, and I just read it in one sitting, so it was quite good. But it was nothing like super crazy. I feel like it's very popular and everybody has read it, but it wasn't like super shocking to me. Like, I don't know, didn't love the book, but it was still good, you know. But yeah, I liked it. Definitely good plot twist. And basically it's about a woman who always drives in the train and looks out of the window, and then she always sees this couple, and one day something happens to the woman and or from the couple, and the woman in the train just wants to figure out what's actually happening, because she kind of feels like a connection with the couple because she's always watching them. But yeah, you obviously learn a lot more about the couple and her backstory and stuff, so it got a lot more complicated. But yeah, then I read again on my Kindle The Charm Offensive, and I really loved this book. I think it was my favorite out of all the books I read in October, just because it was so much fun to read, and it was like a gay romance about the Bachelor. Like, it's like the show The Bachelor, and the Bachelor in the show falls in love with the producer of the show, so it's a bit tricky obviously for them to be together and stuff. And I just really love all the aspects of mental health, because the Bachelor had OCD and severe anxiety, and the producer had depression, and the way they talked about it and the way they handled therapy was just very positive, and I just can only recommend it. It was so cute, and I loved the nicknames they had for each other, so that was really cute as well. Then I also read that on the plane, and then I was finally home, so I could finally pick up some actual books again from my TBR. And so I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is a dark academia book which fits to the whole spooky vibes, October, you know, all that kind of jazz. And I heard such good things about this book, but personally I didn't love it. I wasn't like obsessed. I didn't really like the characters, so that made it a lot harder, and I just felt like they were all really toxic, and everybody was like talking about the crazy ending, but I didn't find it so crazy, so I don't know. Also, I gave The Charm Offensive 5 stars. I really loved it. And The Girl on the Train I gave 4 stars, and this I gave 3.5 stars, because it wasn't like crazy, so I don't know, but it wasn't bad. I would definitely still recommend it if you like dark academia vibes. And it was also like the dual POV of like in the past and then the present, and that was really cool, so that was nice. But yeah, and then I read again It Ends With Us, and I think we all know what this is about, because obviously I've read it because of It Starts With Us, and I also did a reading vlog for both of them, which should be out relatively soon. and so all my thoughts are in this one. But I really liked to reread it. I was quite nervous to reread it again because I thought maybe my reading habits changed, but I think they didn't actually change that much, or it wasn't that long ago, because I still gave it 5 stars. And It Starts With Us, which is just like the sequel of It Ends With Us, I gave 4 stars because it was very cute and I really liked it. And then the final book that I read in October, which was Survive the Night by Riley Sager. And it's actually crazy because I had such high expectations for In My Dreams I Hold the Night, and then I didn't love it. And this book I really liked. I also read it in like one sitting when I was on a car ride, and I loved it. It was so gripping and exciting to read all the time, and I liked the main character so much, and it was so interesting because it takes place in the 90s or 80s, so that was really cool. And it was so spooky and creepy. Like at moments I was very creeped out. But yeah, I personally love this book. Can only recommend it. I know a lot of people say they don't like it or they don't love it, but I personally loved it quite a lot. So it was very nice to read. Can only recommend to you. And yeah, those were all the books that I read in October. I hope you like this video, and I can just quickly count. I read 20 books in October, with Bunny included. Without Bunny, I read 19 books. And yeah, quite a crazy month. Definitely not a typical reading month for me with so many Kindle Unlimited books, but that's okay. And now in November I'm gonna be reading a lot more physical copies of books, so that's quite exciting. And yeah, I hope you got some good book recommendations out of this video, and I hope I see you in the next one. I love you guys.